All right, Algebra 1 students, this is going to be page 8. We are solving using substitution. We made the substitutions yesterday, and today we're going to actually solve all the way. So we're going to solve an equation for one variable, which we have right now, y equals 2. Then we're going to substitute that into the other equation. So I'm going to take this y equals 2 and substitute it into the first equation. So instead of y, I'm going to replace it with 2 equals negative 3x minus 7. Now that we've made this substitution and we only have x, we can solve and find out what x is. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. 2 plus 7 is 9. We still have negative 3x. And negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Now to get x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1, and 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. So negative 3 equals x. Well, y equals 2, x equals negative 3. Well, I solved for my variable, and I solved for my other variable. I'm going to write my solution as a point. Remember, x, y. So my x is negative 3, and my y is 2 from the original equation. All right, let's do another example. I already have y solved, so y equals x minus 1. So I'm going to replace my y in my first equation. So I have 2x minus 3. That's all the same. Then I'm going to replace that y with x minus 1. Everything else stays the same. The only thing that I changed in my first equation is that y. Then I'm just going to solve it. Okay, remember we distribute, then we combine like terms. So I'm going to distribute negative 3. So I have 2x equals negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 1, well, negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 1 is 3. Everything else stays the same. So I distribute, then I combine like terms. So 2x minus 3x is negative 1x. I still have plus 3 equals negative 1. And now I finish solving for x. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides to help isolate x. 3 minus 3 is 0. So I'm left with negative 1x equals negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And to get x by itself, all I got to do is divide both sides by negative 1. X equals negative 4 divided by negative 1 is positive 4. So there's my x value. Now I'm going to plug that x value back in to either equation. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to plug it back into equation 2 because it'll be a little easier to find my y. So I have y equals, instead of x, I'm going to put 4. So 4 minus 1. See how I used that exact same equation, but I substituted 4 in for x. So y equals, well, 4 minus 1 is 3. So my solution is 4, 3, and I'm going to write it as a point. 4, 3, right? Remember, x, y.